The question here was from Gavin. What current U.S. men's player do you feel is underappreciated? And just for fun, name a former U.S. men's player who you feel was underappreciated. Lex, I guess I'll start with you on this one. Who are the two names you have for that question?
Well, I'm going to throw out a potentially hot take here, in that I'm going to say the much maligned Gyasi Zardes, I think, is underappreciated. I think the amount of criticism and crap that is heaped upon him by the United States soccer community is unwarranted. It's not his fault that he plays in a time where, let's say, the talent in total and collective is yet to really emerge. I think he is much better than people give him credit for. The amount of games that he has played, the goals that he has scored. Is he the best U.S. player ever to play the game? Absolutely not. But I don't think that the criticism is fair and justified relative to who Gyasi Zardes is as a player. So I think that at times he is underappreciated, not just for the work that he does up top, but for the defensive work, the runs that he makes that oftentimes aren't rewarded. Is his first touch great? No. But you know what? There are a lot of people out there that have had wonderful careers and have been much more appreciated that weren't as good as him, did not have as good a first touch when it comes to the United States national team. So I would say that. Tab Ramos, I talk about all the time in terms of a hero of mine. He was a man out of time. I wish that he had been born 20 years later. I got the chance to play with him and obviously against him. He could do things that I couldn't do, and he was basically slumming it when he was playing with us at the national team. I would have loved to see who he would have been had he been born 20 years later. I venture to guess that he would not only have been one of the great American players, which he already is, but I think he would just be one of the great players in the world who just happens to be American. That's how good he was, and that's how far ahead of all of us he was, even when he was playing back in the 1900s.
Well, see, the thing, Lex, is that, he would have been able to play in today's game with you. He would have always had 6 feet of separation because you wouldn't have been able to get close to him.
That's true.
One of the players that, I think is underappreciated when it comes to the U.S. men's national team is Brad Guzan. And you think about the career that Brad has had, and with the national team has always played second fiddle to Tim Howard. And this is a guy that was player of the season for Aston Villa one year in the Premier League. This is a guy that played a number of years and for a couple different teams in the Premier League. Has had a fantastic career so far in Atlanta. And with the injury troubles to Zach Steffen, which I think are only going to be more troublesome over the course of in the short term for Zach Steffen leading into qualifying. Who do you trust in that scenario? I would go with a player like Brad Guzan, who, yes, has had a couple moments with the national team, Jamaica in the Gold Cup a couple years back, the famous one with Jurgen Klinsmann. He's made mistakes, high-profile mistakes when given that opportunity. But this is a guy that is reliable and I think underappreciated and will have to be relied upon again. Now, another player is a former teammate of mine in the same spirit as you, Lex. I'm going with Steve Cherundolo. It is insane how this man is not in the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame right now, because he is a Hall of Famer, no doubt. One of the best right backs, probably the best right back we have seen with the U.S. men's national team. Fantastic career in Europe and still underappreciated in the grand scheme of things.
For the best soccer content anywhere on the internet, follow Fox Soccer on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.